sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so we're diving deep today into this whole MSNBC shakeup. You sent this article over about Joy Reid's show ending so clearly. You're, fascinated by this media development. And honestly, me too.
Yeah.
Like, even as someone who I try to keep up with all the cable news drama, even I was surprised by this one.
Yeah, I can see why.
Especially with Keisha Lance Bottoms, former Atlanta mayor. She was a big name during the 2020 election. And she's weighed in with some pretty pointed comments.
Yeah, and, it's interesting here because this goes beyond, just one show, right?
Exactly.
This feels like it's a symptom of some bigger changes happening at MSNBC.
Okay, so let's ground our conversation for anyone who might not be glued to cable news 24/7 like we are.
Right.
Can you kind of remind us, like, Joy Reid's background at the network?
Yeah, so Joy Reid hosted The Readout, which aired weeknights 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so a primetime slot. And her show was known for, a progressive take on politics and current affairs. And she's been, really a strong voice on MSNBC for several years now.
And you probably noticed in the article, Keisha Lance Bottoms specifically pointed out that Joy Reid was the only African-American woman with her own show on MSNBC. So what are the implications of that statement, especially in the context of this shakeup?
Yeah, I mean, that statement, it really brings the issue of representation to the forefront, right? Because if she was indeed the only Black woman with her own show on the network, then, this could be perceived as a step backward for diversity. And it really highlights the ongoing struggle for equal representation, in news and commentary, and particularly for women of color.
I'm wondering, though, is it always a setback when a network loses its only voice from a particular group? Could it potentially open space for, new, maybe even more impactful voices?
Yeah, that's a great point. It definitely raises the question of what comes next, right? Will MSNBC replace her with another diverse voice? Maybe even, create opportunities for multiple new perspectives? Or will this lead to even less representation? I think it's something we'll have to watch closely.
Absolutely. So that's the diversity angle, but this also raises questions about where MSNBC is headed as a network. What are some of the possible motivations behind these changes?
Right, because, networks are businesses, too.
Of course.
And, MSNBC has generally leaned left, but there's been a lot of internal debate about how far left is too far for their core audience, especially as the broader media landscape is shifting. So this move could be about appealing to a different demographic, maybe trying to capture a more moderate viewership.
And we can't forget about ratings, right? Have there been any whispers about Joy Reid's viewership numbers? Could this be a business decision as well as like a programming one?
Yeah, ratings are definitely a factor. While I don't have, specific numbers on hand, networks are constantly analyzing viewership data. And if a show isn't performing well, it's vulnerable no matter how important its perspective might be.
So all these factors you're mentioning, ratings shifting, political landscapes, competition within the cable news world, they could be pushing MSNBC in a direction where someone like Joy Reid no longer fits their vision.
Exactly. And this situation, makes us wonder if Joy Reid was the only Black woman with a solo show on a major network like MSNBC. What does that tell us about the broader media landscape? How many other voices are not being heard, and what changes need to happen to ensure, a wider range of perspectives are represented in the news we consume?
It's a question worth pondering. What do you think, listener? Where do you see cable news and media in general heading in the future? This shakeup at MSNBC might just be a small piece of a much larger story.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.